Tonight, I'm out drinking at a bar with my friend Mr. Chen. Just like before, once he has a few drinks, he starts talking about all sorts of things without holding back. And what he says most often is, you'd never guess what we're working on. It's something that's going to change the whole world. If it were before, I would just say a few things to go along with him and then change the subject. But tonight is different. I've heard you brag about this so many times. What exactly is it? I deliberately acted unimpressed and teased him a bit more. Sure enough, he reacted just as I expected. Even if I told you, you wouldn't get it. But then again, the report isn't going to the company until tomorrow, so they don't know anything yet. How about this? I'll take you to see it myself. He staggered out of the bar with me and flagged down a cab. But what he doesn't know is that I arranged for this car too. The truth is, I'm not really his friend. I'm just someone hired to get close to him and take care of him. Mr. Chen is a researcher at Miffin Technology, but his lab and team have never gotten much attention from the company. Not only is their equipment outdated and their budget tight, but a lot of the time they can't even share important information with the company right away, including the breakthrough they've just made on their latest project. My employer is an executive at a biotech company. According to him, once the results of that project are made public, they'll cause quite a stir and, of course, bring huge profits to the company. So after somehow getting wind of this information, they tried to lure Mr. Chen's team over to their lab with a generous offer, but all those invitations were turned down. With no other options, they ended up hiring someone like me who specializes in dirty work. I went to great lengths to get close to Mr. Chen, eventually becoming friends with him, and gradually coaxed information about the research out of him. And today is the perfect opportunity to make my move. The car reached the lab. Mr. Chen swiped us past the gate. I saw the guards on duty. They were bribed to wipe the security tapes. Mr. Chen led me into a laboratory where all kinds of equipment and file boxes were piled high on the tables. My attention was drawn to something strange. It was a huge, heavy curtain with a texture that felt like plastic. I caught a strange smell wafting from it, kind of earthy, mixed with something odd I couldn't quite place. Come on, let me show ya. Mr. Chen yanked the curtain aside, revealing a space behind it. Dozens of bright lights illuminated an indoor experimental field in front of me, where all sorts of strange plants were growing. The plants had thin, short stems with lots of fine branches at the top that drooped down in a radial pattern, each ending with a plump, bright red apple. But how could apples grow on plants like these? Are these the research results you were talking about? That's right. Everything about the research is right here. Of course, these are it. It's a shame you don't know enough to understand any of this. Otherwise, I'd really like to have a good talk with you. After killing Mr. Chen, I put on gloves, turned on his computer, and then plugged in an external hard drive to start transferring the data related to the experiment. While I was waiting, I first transplanted a few plants from the test field to keep as samples. Then I buried Mr. Chen's body as deep as I could in the test field. After that, I destroyed the other plants and made a mess of the lab. This way, when others discovered the scene and couldn't find any trace of Mr. Chen, their first reaction would definitely be to think that he ran off with the research data and experiment samples. Who would ever think that his body was buried right there in the test field? That's what you call hiding in plain sight. Even if they eventually found out the truth, I'd already be long gone with my payment. After I finished everything, I originally planned to take the hard drive and leave, but I couldn't help being curious about what exactly they were researching and what was going on with these plants. Seeing that it was still early, I opened up the experiment reports on the computer. After browsing through some files, I learned that they seem to have found a way to make plant seeds sprout and take root in a very short time, channeling all the nutrients toward fruit production so the fruit would ripen quickly and become exceptionally plump. So the plants I saw earlier in the test field were actually apple trees. It's just that, for some reason, everything except the fruit looked strange. But how did they manage to do this? Was it gene editing, or did they develop some kind of ripening agent? I opened another research report, and what I saw next completely shocked me. What they were actually researching was a special kind of artificial soil, the very soil that covered the test field. This soil contains a large amount of unique and complex components, which is what causes the plants to undergo such strange changes. Alright, I can't really understand all this, but it looks like I need to collect some soil samples to take back with me. With that in mind, I was about to get moving, but then I noticed another experimental report. In the early experiments the research team conducted on the artificial soil, they weren't satisfied with just testing it on plants. They actually combined animals with the artificial soil. the results of those experiments were just as shocking. Every animal that was buried in the soil, whether dead or alive, even just a piece of rotten meat, would rapidly multiply in an unimaginable and incomprehensible way within a very short period of time. All sorts of organs and body tissues, whether they originally belonged to the animal or not, would appear on its body. The longer it stayed buried, the larger the mass that would proliferate, and sometimes the things that grew out would even give rise to some kind of unintelligent but extremely aggressive life form. So far, no research has been able to explain this phenomenon. All the research team could do was to avoid letting that soil come into contact with any part of an animal's body. Reading this, I felt a chill run all over my body. Wait a minute, if that's the case, then just now I realized something, but before I could react, an overwhelming sense of unease was already creeping up my back. My instincts told me that not far behind me, something absolutely terrifying was staring right at me.